Solo queue will always be killer sided. If you escape 1 out of even like 5 matches in solo queue, it's like, woo, easy. You're supposed to be a 4-player team coordinating against one killer that is stronger than any individual player, but if we can't even hear each other, you're gonna have a lot of goofy stuff happening. Like this right here. This is extra bad ski. This is gonna be, I'm on the wrong side. Yes, okay, it's definitely not Tombstone. Oh, what the fuck, dude? Are you kidding me? Well, that guy wasn't trying to throw the game or anything. He probably just heard the killer terror radius. He knew he was exposed, so he probably just jumped down through that hole up there. But what happened is because we're not communications, I was actually looping down here, he's just face planted right into him and got us both down. This is the type of thing that can lead to why people really don't like playing against Legion, even though if you're on communications, Legion's only like a D tier killer, maybe D minus. But if you're not on communications, you can't even tell any of your teammates where Legion is coming from, or even which direction to run, because they can't hear you. We had this happen one time where I'm literally looking at the guy right behind me. I'm like, no, split up, split up, split up. Obviously, he can't hear me, and he just ends up getting forward. If anyone doesn't watch sport... Oh. We gotta run, we gotta run. We gotta split, 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 we gotta split. We are not in communications. He is just gonna get forward. He is just gonna get easy down. This is how damaging communications can be. That's what I mean by he's just gonna get easy down. Now, on the plus side, no communications can be a lot of fun if you're playing against a killer that's running like an undetectable build or an oblivious build or something like that, because you don't have your teammates telling you every location of where the killer is, so they can actually sneak up on you and scare the living shit out of you sometimes. What if he has like an all Insidious build? And he's Insidious here. Right, that's exactly what I was thinking. That's like what if they're Insidious. Ah! I almost dropped my controller. I literally almost dropped my controller. I fucking like turned the wrong way. It scared the fuck out of me. Now, that same game actually had a great example later on, where if I was on communications with a person that had just gotten hooked, they'd be telling me, oh, Bubba went to House of Pain. It'd have been like, okay. And nothing else happens. We just avoid it. But because we weren't on communications, we got to experience this type of terror, which is great, and it keeps DBD a lot of fun. Ah, what the fuck? But in terms of actual game balance, of trying to make as fair a contest technically as possible, there is one huge mistake that really hurts the teams more than the other mistakes that a lot of survivors will make in solo queue, and that's unhooking survivors too soon or at the first opportunity instead of the right opportunity. Where once again, if you're on communications, it could be as simple a solution as, hey, don't unhook me here, or hey, don't unhook them here. Especially when dealing with tunneling. If somebody is getting tunneled, the safest place that they can be is on the hook. But if you're not on communications, a lot of time you can't tell somebody something as simple as, hey, don't unhook me. Because if somebody is on the hook, you can't even count the time on hook as chase. So if they're gonna get tunneled and they spend 60 seconds on the hook, that's a 60-second chase they had before getting unhooked and getting chased again. And even more so, if you're not the person unhooking and you're in solo queue, not on communications, and somebody does unhook them too fast and they're getting tunneled, you're going to spend a bunch of time that you could have spent on gens running around the map listening for a terror radius, because if we're on communications, they could just tell us exactly where they were and we could go over there and try to help body block. But if we're not in communications, we could be running, chasing a tail essentially like this around the map. We're just outside the terror radius, wasting their 60-second chase looking for where they are, just to get to the point where when we finally get to them to be able to take a body block hit, they go down, and we wasted all their time in chase because we weren't on communications, weren't be able to tell where they were. So not only do we not do a gen, we also didn't help them with getting tunneled. And even though you just had a good chase and there's a bunch of generators done, and even if they have reassurance right in your face, you can't tell them that. They can be able to see it, but not everybody has thousands of hours of experience to know exactly which perk that is and why they're glowing white. But if we're on communications, we could tell them something as simple as, hey, don't unhook me, and you can finish that last generator before unhooking me, especially because I have reassurance. But instead, you'll get things like this happening. Uh-oh. They have to leave because they're closer to me. Oh, reassured. Let's go. But nobody's on a gen, though. No, this is a bad idea. I was reassured and everything. They could have left me on the hook that whole time and just worked on gens. This is why solo queue will always be killer-sided. Shit like that. It won't let me... Wow. It blocks the window if you're standing next to it. Dude, that is so frustrating. We had reassurance and they unhooked me in front of the killer anyway. Now, the sad thing about this is this can affect somebody else that's on a hook, not even us. We can be across the map from somebody and be like, don't unhook them. Could have been the difference between them getting saved or not, but we're not. So from across the map, going back to Legion, how this can really affect, where if everybody is in deep mend and somebody is on the hook, they can unhook the somebody and that will give them their 4th stack to be able to just immediately down the person that just got unhooked. And that once again would be as simple a solution as, hey, don't unhook them until their frenzy's out. But if we're not in communication, stuff like this ends up happening. Can't get them off hook, because if you get them off hook, they'll just get forward. You have to wait until their frenzy's over. No, Steve! They're not still in frenzy, are they? Oh, God. Yeah, they are. Yep. That's what I was talking about. We're not on communications, though. So the solution is to leave somebody on hook as long as possible in pretty much every scenario, just to play it safe. Now, if we're not in communications, that can be pretty hard to coordinate, obviously. So there's one specific thing you want to wait to see happen before you have a few other things to look for to see if you should be the one to unhook. The first thing you want to wait to see happen is wait to see somebody getting chased. If the killer is chasing somebody else and there's a good chance they're not camping the hook or in the hook area, every now and then you can run across the map only to find somebody chasing right by the hook, but then you can come back to a gen, do the gen to the last second, and then go trade if you need to anyway. But keep sitting on whatever gen you're doing until you see somebody else getting chased, and once you see somebody else getting chased, if you're on the generator and somebody else is on a generator that has more progress than you, then it's your turn to go. But that's one of the things to look out for. So there are a few things that you want to look for after waiting for somebody else to get chased to make a huge difference on whether you should get the unhook or not. First thing you want to look for is anybody else doing a generator? Is anybody else full health? And how many hooks does everybody else have? If somebody's on death hook, you don't want them to get the unhook just in case the killer's around the area and just gets a free trade and then kills the person that was on death hook. So what you really want to be doing if somebody is on the hook, obviously, is sitting on a generator. If you're sitting on the generator, you can look at the side little HUD that tells you and everybody else that you are on a generator. And then you have to look at generator repair progress. Because if I'm on a generator and somebody else is on a generator across the map, but their generator is almost finished, it's going to be up to me to get off my generator and go get somebody unhooked. Now, you don't want to just go unhook somebody right away before anything else. So a lot of times what I like to do in solo queue is wait until I see somebody else getting chased. So I know for the fact the killer is not camping, or even if they are camping, they're in an area where I can go there and see what's going on, and then I can return back to my gen, and then you can go back later to try to trade. But what you really want to do is sit on your generator as long as possible. If you see nobody else on a generator or nobody else getting chased, you still want to play it a little bit safe because we're not on communications and it'd be hard to coordinate this. So you want to cover your bases because anything can happen. Somebody else could have got off their generator and be going towards the hook, and then they see the killer there and they get chased away, and we waited too long to go get the unhook and they get left unhooked. So you want to be doing your generator paying attention. If nobody else is being chased and nobody else is doing a generator, then you want to start thinking about maybe you want to sit on your generator as long as possible, just in case the killer is camping and you have to go over and trade anyway. Then might as well get as much of the gen done as you can before going to trade. Now, even if you're the last priority to go get the unhook, the safest thing to do is wait as long as possible and then go try to unhook them close to the last second, not the absolute last second, because sometimes if you wait till the absolute last second, the difference between them being left on hook and not can be you trying to unhook, getting hit in the second that you got interrupted from unhooking them. They can go into second phase before you get them off. So what you really want to do is, no matter what, even if you see nobody else on a generator, nobody else being chased or anything like that, you still want to wait till the last second that you could possibly unhook them, then go across the map and try to get them off hook. You might end up leaving a gen that you were in front in line, you almost can finish the generator, but just to play it safe, you want to go across the map anyway, just in case you were the one that could get them off the hook. Can I fill this gen? Fill it. Or can I get it done, do you think? Or do you think I should run first? I think I should run now. That was probably the good time to run anyway. Oh, did I go too late? No, I didn't. Okay, nice. The extra 10 seconds. If that was back in the 60-second days, I did go too late. Now that's just to play it a little safe. You can play it a little bit safe when you're in front of the hook anyway. Say we walk over to the hook, and as we walk over to the hook, right when we get there, we see another survivor is being chased in the area that's close enough where if we unhook the survivor, we have to trust that the killer is going to play nicely and not break off that chase and immediately come back to the person that just got unhooked. So even if you're directly by the hook, you don't have to unhook just because you're here. If there's danger in the area, you can wait for that to clear up a little bit and then unhook if you want to. Off of the main window and then go to the side. Okay. All right, nice. I just wanted to make sure the killer wasn't coming back. Now, sometimes you come over to the hook and there is danger right on the hook. It's not even has to do with somebody else being chased near the hook. You just see the killer around. Same thing. Just because we're in the area doesn't mean we have to unhook. You can leave that area, get a bunch of generator done, or do other things, heal somebody, whatever needs to get done to relieve some pressure, be healing over here. And still, if you're going to have to trade anyway, then return back to the hook and trade, because you got a lot more done to help the team before having to do the inevitable trade anyway. If you're going to trade anyway, might as well get some stuff done and then come trade to buy as much time as possible. And everything the killer does, we're going to have a counterplay. It's like, not really. Should I not get them then? Because if I don't get them, then they just get left unhooked. Now I have to. Every now and then a mistake gets made where you're trying to be a little bit too cute or fancy, where somebody's on the hook and you're trying to get as much done and you end up going a little bit too late. Same with if you wait a little bit too late and then you go in the time that you got interrupted, the person goes into second phase before you can get them up. Same thing. I remember there was one specific time where I was really trying to get this Victor out of the way because I was trying to be too cute and not take a hit and then get them off. And I ended up getting the kick the Victor, but I was just barely a second too late to be able to get them off the hook. Oh god. No, it was so close. God damn it, bro. That sucks. So obviously there's risk that can happen when we're not on communications, but the idea still holds true that you're trying to get as much done before returning the hook. Now, obviously it's a video game, so playing super risky and really close to the line can be a lot of fun. Even more fun, specifically in Dead by Daylight, than playing safe. But every now and then you'll test the waters a little bit too deep, and you'll play the line a little bit too close where you feel like you even got lucky instead of skillful. And then like won't really let me type. Uh-oh, not right here, are they? They're right here. I'm gonna go help with this gen a little bit. No, not yet, not yet, not yet. They're gonna can't. I'll go trade in a little bit, but I'm gonna try to help out as much as we can. And then go trade. No, did I wait too long? Yes! Yes! That was way too fucking close. That was not any type of skill. I completely misjudged that. That was lucky as fuck. That was like the hugest booty hole pucker in like a month.